All right, on this episode, it's all about turkeys with Matt Johnson of Gun Talk Media right here.
Hey, I'm KJ, dedicated lifelong hunter here. If you got an interest in all things hunting, you're in the right spot. Whether chasing quail across the plains of Oklahoma or in pursuit of elk in the backcountry of British Columbia, you'll always find me on the hunt.
All right, welcome in all you Gun Talk hunters. I'm your host, KJ, and we are back with another exciting episode. And as we all know, it is getting dangerously close to turkey season. In fact, everybody is probably listening to this, probably decking out themselves in Optifade and red dots pretty much. But this episode is brought to you by Ruger, Range Ready, and EOTech. Go give them a look. All right, so we've got Matt Johnson on, and how we've been starting the show with guest, because the last two have been solo. I'm sorry you had to sit there and listen to my voice just by itself, yammer on and talk. At least you'll get to hear Matt if I shut up. But as we've been opening the shows, we've been letting AI write a poem about our guest.
Oh boy.
And yeah. so before we're going to intro Matt, and here's his lead into spring turkey season. In snowy peaks where silence hums, Matt Johnson skis as morning comes. With powder spray and hunter's grace, he carves his path through time and space. But when the thaw begins to creep, he leaves the slopes and trading steep. For fields where gobblers strut and drum, he waits, all still, the turkeys come. Among the flock, with stealthy tread, a bearded hen lifts her head. Matt grins and whispers, "Not today," respectful in the hunter's way. And as he rests beneath a tree, sipping something wild and free, he pulls a coconut from his pack because, well, Matt's got style like that. From slopes to spurs, from snow to sun, Matt's chase is quiet, sharp, and fun. Gun Talk's own with tales to spin. Adventure lives beneath his grin. There you go.
I like it. That's not far off. Usually the ski season does run right up into turkey season. It happens many a times.
I know you so well. My prompt to that, and I had to throw in a coconut. I don't know why. And so when I create these little snippet poems, I like to come up with like two really random things. And if you're in the turkey woods, it really seems like a bearded hen is really random, and to include a coconut is even more random.
So when you said the coconut from the pack, I instantly went to Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail. And I was like, oh yeah, the coconut. We're riding out to our turkey spot.
Yes. That's funny that you think Monty Python. That's because that's where my mind would go.
That's instantly with coconuts. But I have only seen one bearded hen in my life, and it was actually when I wasn't even hunting. But they are rare to see, but I have seen them.
Man,
because there's a huge flock.
Maybe it's just in the area that I hunt turkeys in Oklahoma, but man, I see quite a few. Like it's rare that I see it. It's more rare than I don't see one.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're thin beard. You know, they don't have beards like a gobbler does. But
right.
There was one time, so I'm sitting there hunting with my buddy, and this one bearded hen kept showing up. And like we're talking, like when I'm talking a bearded hen, like this hen had, I swear it had to have been like at least an 8-inch beard. And I'm like, that's a unique trophy. Like that would be a unique, and you in Oklahoma, and I believe in other states, you are able to shoot a bearded hen.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot that bearded hen tonight. Never saw her again. Ever. And I guess that's just how it goes sometimes.
It is. It's like hunting all the time. It's like hunting every other time. I remember the first year I shot a buck with my bow. I shot it on September 27th, and it was awesome. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to take it and I'll film. I got a lot of season left to film my doe tag now. And what do you think happened the rest of that season? I never saw a single doe.
Monsters.
all bucks and what I had shot on that day or bigger. And it's like, of course that's how it's going to happen because
Yeah.
I hadn't shot a legit antlered buck until that day. And then I hunted for another 8 weeks until November and not a doe stepped out. So
No kidding. Usually
it
you
happens.
can't shake the does, but I mean, but
No,
you're
yeah,
right. I mean, when you
yeah,
sit there
yeah.
and you talk about what you get, if you get it early, then all you see is monsters. I mean,
Right, right. It's just how it happens. But, you know, and I guess the same thing is happening with turkey hunting is like, and I don't know how it's been for you, but I've never shot a midday turkey or a late day turkey. I've always shot morning
what?
turkeys.
Really?
And yeah, it's just the way it's always worked out. Now I've got three here you can see behind me on the video for those watching, but any other turkey I've shot has always been morning, either at sunrise up and I think the latest one I ever shot was like 9:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Otherwise, I've seen them in the afternoon, but I've never killed a bird after midday or later.
Well, I mean, you just like to get things done. That's the kind of guy
I
you are.
well,
Like,
I've never complained about it either. It's like no, I mean, so it's
well,
been,
I
but
think
yeah, so
I've killed quite a few midday. I enjoy midday hunts because I think you can. Because, like, when you're on the roost, like, you know where they're gonna feed and stuff like that, when you roost them, and you're really set up to where they like to travel in the morning. Like, that's,
yep,
like,
yep,
their feed, their strut zones, stuff like that where you're targeting. But, like, midday, I feel like, man, anything can happen. Like, I mean, if you're getting in, say, shade, especially on, like, on windy, like, hot days, that's when I feel like I'm better at killing turkeys. Because
yeah, because
I c
go ahead.
oh, no, go for it.
Yeah, I was like I enjoy the midday. I mean, people talk about it. It's like in deer hunting, it early season, late season gets to be very much morning sit, evening sit, that kind of thing, and then obviously in the rut you sit because things get crazy. But it's the part I enjoy about turkey hunting is the fact that you can chase them all day, right,
Yeah.
and from sun up to sundown, and your tactic completely changes. But I enjoy also just like deer hunting. I enjoy weather elements because it tips it back to my favor because I'm not the kind of guy. I hunt them and I've hunted them for years, but I don't get out enough to completely pre-plan everything and know all the patterns. But because
Yeah.
I hunt turkeys where I deer hunt, I know the turkey patterns relatively decent enough to where they kind of all bend and where to show up and where I can sit. But
Yeah.
once you add that weather element, it's like, okay, now I understand these creatures are going to be either out there in the open or no, they're going to start tucking in closer to trees or shade or that helps tremendously. And but I enjoy hunting them all day long because it then gets more tactical, I guess, in that sense.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, now you have to put a strategy together and sneaking around. And that's where the advantage tips back to them again when you have to start sneaking around to find them because the more you move, the more they're going to see you.
Yeah, the problem with midday hunting is the snakes are typically out. Like,
Oh, see,
that's the part I don't like.
see, and that's why I stay north of the Mason-Dixon because we don't deal with snakes up here.
God, he's so lucky. Like, even on, like, morning walks, when I'm just, like, walking the dog, like, I have to, like, be hyper vigilant about
Oh
freaking
yeah,
snakes.
I bet you
Like,
do. I
it's
bet it was.
it's
So
disgusting.
I've hunted western South Dakota twice for turkeys, and that was a whole. I did it for the challenge with my buddy, but that was a whole different game, and probably closer to what you deal with, just because one we had on the when it got nice out, we started walking around. It's like okay, we got to be vigilant of looking for rattlers out there. But
Yeah.
then two, when we start getting into the timber, it's like, wait a minute, I am literally calling a predator to me if by chance because there's mountain lions out there.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
that was a whole new game for me in that sense. Like sitting by a tree, it's like, okay, I'm trying to find the bird. And it's like, but at
And
the same
something's trying to
time,
find you.
something's find me. So, but the snake thing,
Well,
that was different because it wasn't as easy like when you want to run and gun just to go and just flop down somewhere. It's like, gotta take a second look.
yeah, yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, I mean, a bobcat maybe might show up every once in a while, but
Sure.
typically, man, like especially windy days. Windy days, you gotta play the wind a little bit more right when you're talking about elements in the turkey hunting game because I mean you could have a hen going off and walking by and she could be chirping and you won't even hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
on real windy days, and that's one of the challenges that I think I really like about one of the reasons why is because you really have to dedicate yourself to no movement, you know, really subtle movements, and you can get a little bit more aggressive with your calls. Um,
Yep.
man, I don't know. That's why I like hunting in the a little bit in the wind, but
It yeah, it helps with that. I uh I remember the first year I took out my son, and we did a morning sit, and it was a good lesson for him to learn that the movement thing for him because he got out and was like,
yeah,
oh, it's early, so he's like ends up like we all do, took the morning woods turkey nap, and he
yep,
just the way he set his gun, I knew turkeys were coming, so he was sleeping, I was awake, and I nudged him, and he opened his eyes, didn't move much, saw him coming, and but then he also realized where the gun was laid on the ground, not on the lap, and so I just sat there. I was like, he's got to figure out how to try and do this, and of course he
that's
got busted.
funny. Oh yeah.
But I was like, dude, I'm like, that's part of it. I'm like, if you want to take a nap, that's fine. I go, but you need to get everything in position so you can just move it instead of because you can't
So
move.
literally, you need to open your eyes and go, okay, I'm just gonna raise up and shoot this thing because that's like
Right.
all you can. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
I mean, that's funny.
Yep.
You and I like had different approaches to introducing our kids to turkey hunting because my intro to my son to turkey hunting, I think he was 5 at the time, and I mean, that's when I drag all the gear out. Like I carry out the
Mm-hmm.
blind and I
Yep.
carry out the stools and I carry out all this snacks. And I'm like, Lord, please help a gobbler come by. I mean, like, just please. And I knew they were roosted in this batch of cottonwoods, and I'm just like, please, 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 let him show up. Let him put on a show for him. Maybe he'll catch the bug.
Right.
Well, like worked out exactly how it worked out exactly as planned. Like it couldn't have worked out. They lit down, they strutted there for about 15, 20 minutes, and then they start coming our way. So he gets to see this whole beautiful show, and he all he can think about at 5 years old is, hey, can I have a snack? Come on. You're killing me. Are you not watching this beautiful show?
Right. It was like we came out for the animals, and you're worried about what you're eating. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's how it's
yeah.
but what's funny about that is when we talk about snakes is that like that same spot, fast forward a couple of years, like I did not realize how many rattlesnakes were in that area. Like until
Oh,
like when we have a video on our channel that it's a like a coyote turned rattlesnake hunt. And like we killed 13 rattlesnakes in a matter of like 45 minutes.
oh,
And
wow.
that was and from right there, that was the same spot where we took those turkeys. And man, and it was a day of just like we had just had, and I did not realize how many rattlesnakes were out there. And it
So, what did you kill them with? Would you carry shotgun with buckshot, or do you carry like a judge pistol,
no,
or what are you
no, just
killing them
like
with?
a yeah, a little like a 410, like is
Okay.
all it was, like a little like probably Savage 410, I think is what it was. But it
Okay.
wasn't anything, elaborate. It was like a truck gun
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was a farmer's gun that we because he was like hey, he's a relative and he was like you guys want to go hunt some rattlesnakes today and I was like sure why not and oh my gosh oh
Wow.
terrifying terrifying but the
Yeah.
video is
That's a lot.
awesome. It's awesome. The video was really cool and I get to relive it because it was just so intense
Huh.
but
Yeah.
man like when you talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
you know what? Matt, we're going to jump in here and break because I think this is a great transition point for us to talk about some of the gear
Yeah.
that's out now and some gear that folks should have on their radar
Yep.
that'll make their hunting a little bit nicer. So we're going to jump in here with a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Matt Johnson of Gun Talk Media.
You ever wish your hunting rifle had an optic so compact and tough it could probably survive a bar fight? Well, meet the EOTech Voodoo 3-9 by 32. At just 6.8 inches, this little beast is built from aircraft-grade aluminum because regular aluminum is for soda cans. It's fog-proof, waterproof, shock-proof, basically life-proof. You get crisp second focal plane precision, cap turrets that won't get bumped out of zero, and an illuminated reticle with 10 brightness settings. And the best part? It's got an integrated base that plays nice with mini ACOG mounts. So yeah, it's short, it's sharp, and it's ready to make you feel like a marksman of legend. The Voodoo 3-9 by 32, because your rifle deserves better than good enough.
It's time to prepare for the shot of a lifetime. Whether you're a seasoned hunter or new to the sport, preparation is key. I preach it all the time. At Range Ready Studios, we offer the training you need to make that shot of a lifetime. Chris Serino is on staff, and he has a host of instructors on hand to provide personalized trainings in state-of-the-art facilities and practical exercises that build your confidence and skills. From precision marksmanship to quick target acquisition, we've got you covered. Don't leave your success to chance. Visit rangereadystudios.com to learn more.
The Ruger Precision Rimfire, or as the cool kids call it, the RPR. This beast has a heavy contour barrel, a Ruger Precision Rifle muzzle brake to tame recoil like a well-trained hunting dog, and an adjustable trigger that's smoother than your best pickup line at the bar. Need versatility? The multi-mag interface lets you run mags from AICS to Magpul style so you can stop hoarding magazines like a doomsday prepper. Plus, with a fully adjustable buttstock, this rifle fits you better than your favorite pair of hunting boots. Bottom line, if you want long-range accuracy, smooth operation, and durability built into one serious rifle, get yourself an RPR.
All right, welcome back, Gun Talk Hunters. I'm on the line with Matt Johnson of Gun Talk Media, and we were talking a little bit about, we were starting to transition into gear that I would consider looking into that would help your turkey season be a little bit more fruitful. Matt, do you have any big products this year that you're like, these I'm gonna try?
Oh man, these I'm gonna try. Nothing comes to mind. I guess nothing comes to mind immediately other than I wanted to get your opinion on. So before we got started, we got talking red dots. I came across using red dots for turkeys a couple years ago. And last year I used an aim point and it was absolutely awesome. And so my question for you was this. Do you think it's better for turkeys to use a smaller MOA dot versus a bigger one, or does size not really matter in your opinion as far as the size of that red dot? Well, like
Wow.
not size.
I hope.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I hope my wife would say size doesn't matter.
No.
I see what your point is. I see what you're saying.
Yes.
I got it.
And I asked
got
that
it. And
because
I think everybody out there.
Vortex, right? Because Vortex just came out with a 2 MOA red dot, and I was like, man, maybe a guy does go with a smaller one just from a point of reference spot. But I'm like, does it really matter, or is it personal preference?
I think it's all personal preference, but the one thing I will say is when you're talking about red dots, what color's the turkey's head?
It's red, right?
It's red. So there's a potential there for that dot to disappear.
Yes.
And that's what I worry about. But the Vortex one is one that I do want to talk about because there's a lot of optics out there, and there's some scoped optics out there that are more turkey driven. But the Vortex, it's the Viper shotgun enclosed that they came out with.
Yep.
This is for me probably the best of every world you could have.
Okay.
Because it's a 3 MOA dot and circle dot. So they have different combinations of like having a circle, having a dot with a circle, which I think would be more beneficial because with a dot and it's almost like it's like a 3/4 circle is really what it is. But you also have a circle.
Yeah, it looks more like it looks kind of like a horseshoe.
Yeah, I think that's more yeah, horseshoe. That's what I was looking for. Dadgummit.
Yep.
But that I think that's where I would lean towards is having a dot and a circle because
Yeah.
I could see the outline.
Oh,
Does
I
that
see what
make
you're saying.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Like I
does.
could see, like I could put the turkey's head in the circle and press the trigger. Like that's all you got to do. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
where
see,
I get it.
yeah, I see what you're saying there, and I've never thought of that. That's an interesting concept. That reminds me, I have a Hawk Vantage, a Hawk Optics Vantage that they came out with. Mine's originally in black, but now they put camo wrapped it and whatever else.
Mm,
But
yeah,
it's a 1:4, but it has the same thing. It's got a circle in it and crosshair. I mean, then vertical lines, horizontal lines.
yeah,
Same concept. And I got that one 3 years ago, and I had the same idea. It's like I liked it. The thing I liked the look of it. What I didn't like was the size of it. So when I started playing around with putting a red dot on, I was like, I like the compactness and everything else. And so
yeah.
what I'm getting
Well,
at is I agree with you in that sense of I do like that it encapsulates the head versus just the simple dot on the head.
yeah. Well, I guess like I like the lightweight because what I have been shooting, and I wonder if Thompson Center is going to come back out with it or if there's some out there, but they had a dedicated. So the gun I shoot is a single shot shotgun. It's short. It's a Thompson Center Encore like turkey. Like
Yep.
it's their Encore plat, but it's so short and a red dot
Yep.
fits so well on it.
Yep.
And I wonder if they're gonna keep coming, kind of come out with those or reintroduce them in the new line since Ritz bought them back. But the scope thing I never got onto because I had an old Weaver scope on that gun, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it because when you start messing with like magnifications or whatever, I mean the turkeys were 20 yards away, 30 yards away. Like how much zoom do you need?
Right.
Like that's where I got into like a little debate with myself is like, and I'm automatically introducing movement into my set. So if
Yes.
I'm gonna change magnification or I get up there and my son was shooting it or something like that and he cranked it up to 4 and I go up and I don't check beforehand, I go up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can barely see anything.
Right.
And you have to move it. You're introducing movement into your set. And I think anytime you introduce movement into a set, a turkey set, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I agree. And the thing I liked about the scope side of it is because of the way they're making turkey loads now. Now I have the furthest bird I ever shot was 42 yards, which I was
Yeah.
amazed I killed him at 42 yards. And that was iron sights are a bead on my shotgun
Yeah.
at 42 yards. But it was standing up straight, walking away, dead straight away from me, and I was got it. But otherwise, besides that bird, every other bird has been within 20 yards.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, I liked the scope and everything I had, but it was like, I don't have a need for it because I'm not shooting that far out. But the way they're making turkey loads now, I know plenty of people that are very comfortable shooting 40 to 60 yards out to
Yeah.
take a bird. And now, if a bird is 60 yards out, I'd want some magnification just because that head is the size of what, a tennis
Right.
ball.
Well,
So I get that, but
yeah, but if you're doing your due diligence in the early season, you should know
mm-hmm,
what your shot pattern's doing. And
correct.
really it's about the shot pattern it is, but it's also figuring your reticle out and your optic out. And so what that turkey's head looks like in a given distance. Like so you go out to 60 yards, you should shoot out to 60 yards
Right, right.
preseason to see what that turkey's head looks like in that optic just for that sense, not
I,
necessarily on like what your shot pattern's doing, just like so you know the reference, you know the scale of that
right.
turkey's head to your optic because then you go, I've made this shot before. And
Well,
I
and
think
the other part of it,
confidence plays.
it is a confidence thing, but the difference I agree, and I would say it's almost more imperative to do that turkey hunting and turkey prep to pattern that way than it is when you are sighting in your deer rifle and optics that way. Because when you can zero a gun at 100 yards, 200 yards, 150, whatever it is, and you know just by ballistic calculations and science where it's going to hit, where,
Yeah.
when, how, right? I mean, they make scopes that do all the math for you. A pattern of the shot shell, yes, they have projections of what it's going to be, but to really understand what a pattern is at 60 yards, you need to see it hit something to
Yeah.
understand that versus like, oh no, I know when it gets out there, the pattern's going to be 2.5 feet wide. Correct.
Yeah.
But it's going to be 5 pellets on that tennis ball,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I agree wholeheartedly there that uh, you may not need to do it every year, but at least a couple times at some point in time, you need to shoot and see it because it was eye opening for me. I always
Yeah.
sight in at 20 yards and get it done. And then all of a sudden, I did. It's like, you know what? I have some time. I have a couple of shells, and now I get turkey loads are expensive, but it's
Yeah.
worth the mental understanding to see, okay, even if you shoot at 40 yards and see the difference from 20 to
Yeah.
40, it's like,
It
oh yeah,
is.
this really, it opens up a lot out there.
Yeah.
So
Uh, I guess, aside from like different turkey loads, and they're all kind of like they're they're all like there's always a new turkey load out there, but
yeah,
there's
yep.
always new turkey gear out there. But the turkey gear that I'm interested in trying out are they're Sitka's new Ventlight GTX boots. Have you heard
I
about
saw
these?
those. I did.
Dude, like I look at them and I'm not a fan of rubber boots. Like I'm not. Like when I go out in the woods, like I've got either my Crispies on or I've got some type of Loa. It's
Yeah.
one of those like I mean, they're very nice boots. And I've like always been like they just don't fit right and they get clunky, but these suckers are light. I mean, like freakishly light.
Really?
And they're breathable. And they're like that's what so it's they're Gore-Tex, but they're breathable. Like they're a Gore-Tex like layering system and they're breathable. So they're lightweight. Like it's like a
Okay.
Gore-Tex laminate. Now
Hmm.
I will say this, you're paying Sitka prices. Like
Yeah.
Sitka does not do anything subpar. They don't
No.
do just they're not I don't know. I'm very interested in like wearing them around and I've worn them around. Um and so far, man, like you're talking like 35 ounces per boot, which is way different than what old rubber boots used to weigh. Like
It's
so
like, dude, that's like insane.
yeah,
No,
35
I
ounces.
haven't not gotten my hands on them, but I do because I'm on the other side up here in Minnesota and in the Midwest. I hunt in rubber boots a lot. I've got plain rubbers for early season, and I've got heavy insulated ones for mid
Yeah.
season, late, right? Um, and that's always been the problem I have is as soon as it gets muddy outside, it's like, well, I want rubber boots, but my God, they end up weighing like 10 pounds of boot by the time you get mud
Yeah.
and field chaff and stuff on it and leaves and whatever else. Um, so for them to make a lightweight is intriguing to me because
Yeah.
um, yeah, especially during
I
turkey season, because a lot of what I hunt is field edges and before farmers have gotten stuff in the field and that kind of stuff. But I did
dude, it
hear
gets
about them. I'm
nasty.
curious because, yeah, but
They're nice. Like I'm
35
so far
ounces.
I'm impressed and typically like rubber boots just aren't as comfortable as
No,
I'm
they're no,
accustomed to. I sound like high
right.
maintenance now.
You
But
are high
man,
maintenance. Okay, Jay.
they're pretty comfortable. Just saying.
Well,
Like
that's
I'm
good
excited
because
to
that
try
is,
those.
um, yeah, well, when I come down there in a couple weeks, I may have to check. You have to bring them in so I can check them
Oh
out
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
I'll bring them in for sure. I'll
because yeah, that's always the catch to them too. I mean, they're clunky, and even I mean, I've got a pair of Sitkas, and they the originals, and or got the pattern on them, and they're good. But yeah.
what
Anyway,
size
so
are
to
you?
your question, it 11, 11 and a half.
I may send them up to you for you to wear this season
Ooh,
and get your like honest opinion on them. Like
I
that
will.
would be really cool because I've been wearing
Yeah.
them just briefly around here, but I'll send
Yep.
I'll ship them up to you and have you
Okay.
wear them, or you
That'd be
just take
awesome.
them home
Yeah, I can just
because
take
you
them
are
home
going to be
with me
down here
because, yeah, it's
because they're
yeah.
light.
Well, that's
All
good.
right,
So I gonna hit.
so
So we're talking about loads. My question for you is: when you turkey hunt, do you put what kind of choke do you put on the end of your gun?
I don't use a choke. Oh
Really?
no, yeah, no, I do. I don't think I have
Does
my choke over there, man. As far as like chokes, like I have a turkey choke in the shotgun that I have now, and I
yep.
want to say I don't think it's a Carlson's, but I forget whose it is. Like that's one of those
Mm,
things that I found a load and I'm using a duplex load
okay.
and it's like it works for that system. Yeah,
Yep.
it's not that one. Yeah, Michael's checking the gun out next to me that has the vortex on it. That yes, I do every once in a while drag the Benelli Vinci out on a uh, on a turkey hunt, and that's why I put the Vortex Viper on it because I was like, I'm gonna try this year. Um, but no,
Okay.
I think it's a I want to say it's a no, it's a Kicks. I think it's a Kicks
Okay.
choke, but I don't know. It said turkey choke on it when I bought it in Bass Pro Shops, like,
Right.
20 years ago or whatever. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that one. And I just didn't
Yep.
change it because the duplex loads that I shoot out of it, they work. And I'm not shooting 60 yards. Like I'm not going
Right.
that far out. Like dude, if I'm like 40 yards, like it's game over.
Yep. That's how I am too. No, I
So
just
what are
asked because yeah,
you
I've got a I've got a double XL turkey choke that sticks out the end of. I've got an old Mossberg 535 with a turkey barrel on it, and
yeah.
like you, many years ago, when I bought that barrel and I got that barrel, it's like you know what, I want to put a turkey choke on the end of it. I've slapped it on, and it's worked for everything I've ever shot out of it, and that's going back from oh Jesus, I've got that gun 15 years ago
Yeah.
and put the choke on shortly thereafter. And so thinking about where turkey lures were then, it's worked then now. But you and I hunt in very similar mindsets. It's for me, it's like once they get inside 40 yards, it's just present the shot and I'm going to take it. I'm not
Yeah.
overly anxious to shoot way out deep, but yeah, I've shot everything from Hornadies, heavy mags, to the new was it golden? No, go the Fiocchi turkey load.
Oh
I've
yeah.
shot the Federal's new one last year, right? So fortunately because of the space we're in, I've shot a lot of different stuff just to see and for those who are wondering, yes, they do all pattern different. They all
Yes, they
shoot
do.
very different.
So
And
here
yeah,
I'm gonna open up a can here. And it
oh,
like and I know people are gonna go, my gosh, what this guy's an idiot. And back in my younger days, I was an idiot. Because I just you hunt a lot of times you hunt with what you have, what you can.
right.
So question, does a turkey have to be on the box for you to shoot that ammo at a turkey's?
Does a turkey have to be on the box in order for me to shoot the
Does it
ammo
have to
at
say
turkeys?
does this have to say turkey load for you to be like, well, that's what I have to shoot?
Oh, yeah, I see where you're going with this.
Would a goose load not work?
Yes, it would. I 100%.
I mean,
I
there is
a 3 inch
designs.
3 inch goose load will work on turkeys.
Yeah.
100%.
But like I'm getting around to say like there are great like the technology now is definitely not what we had 20 years ago, 30 years
Correct.
ago. Like and the flight wads that they're doing, the wads that they're producing and the flight patterns that they're getting out of like tungsten shells and like it's absolutely incredible.
Yep.
But there was a time my first turkey was taken and I don't even know it's probably an H and R like bolt act. It was my uncle's very first gun, and somehow I ended up with it. And it is a bolt action 20 gauge. My first
Uh,
turkey was shot with that gun with a quail load. It
Quail load.
worked. Yes.
Wow.
Like, that's all I had.
Well,
That
I
was
mean,
it.
so
But the
the
bird
thing
was at
is,
7 yards.
right. I was like, the thing is, as long as, I mean, it's just like, it's the principle of shotgun shells and ammo on birds is the same as it is for center fire rifles on big game. Shot placement is everything. And if he's
Mhm.
that close, it doesn't, I mean, now, grant at 7 yards, that's a really good shot because your pattern is obviously still really tight.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, you would have killed that
There
turkey even at 15 yards with that load.
Yeah, but there's no choke to that gun. There like, it is a flat, like, 20 gauge, like, bolt a
So
it's a I mean,
it's
it's
awesome that you have
ridiculous.
one. My brother has our grandfather's bolt action 12 gauge,
Really.
and it
How
still
wild is
works.
that?
And
Whose idea was that? Whose
I
idea was
don't know.
a bolt action shotgun?
The same people that
Like,
thought maybe a bolt action muzzle loader was going to be a thing.
it was probably the same person.
It probably was just years
That's
later, but
funny that, it's
it
wild.
is. It is, and
I
I mean, I
mean,
remember we looked at it. That gun, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and double check, but I am fairly confident that gun has a dial choke on the end of the barrel,
I bet it does.
and
I
say
bet it
because you could
does.
dial from
It's interesting.
yeah, it had
I don't know.
three or four different settings, but you could just dial it at the end of the barrel to what you wanted,
Yeah.
and it was like Jesus,
I mean,
and
that's
that's
old
a 19.
technology, but it sounds good.
It completely is. It
All right.
completely is. So
So one of the last products, and I've been kind of fumbling it with it here. Um, one of the last products that is not old, it's not new, it is old. This is a very old one. And I don't like it is just a little container. It's a little plastic container with a lid on it that screws on. This is a real quick tip for all you turkey hunters out there or all you elk hunters out here. Like these calls in here are probably 15 years old and they're diaphragm
okay,
calls.
yeah,
So I learned this from Melvin Hart, and he sold me this, and he was like, "It's a game call, uh, uh, it's a game call holder." He goes,
okay,
"What'd you do with it?" And it's just a little container. It's like a little plastic container. You could probably find these on Amazon and stuff like that. Get a good one, but it stores and keeps your calls fresh. And all you do is you add a little bit of mouthwash in it and a little water, and then I store mine in a refrigerator, and anytime I'm about to go out, I grab them and I head out. What that does for you is that when you pop that call in, man, it's like you're refreshing your breath and it's a fresh game call. It is awesome. Like it's one of the little goofy things that I learned. And I really do appreciate Melvin for introducing this to me. He's a taxidermist in Oklahoma. Man, he is a phenomenal elk hunter. Just a great guy overall.
So how
But
big
yeah,
is that little container? Because the thing it reminds me of is like a Vaseline container that's just been emptied.
I mean, it's just a little bit bigger than like a Vaseline, like balm,
Right.
lip
Okay.
balm jar. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's, 2.5 inches wide with by maybe 2.5 to 3 inches deep. And, like, you
Yep.
just fill up a little bit of mouthwash, some water, and like seriously, these calls, they still sound like I got them out of like so if you like find those game calls that you like are absolutely in love with and like they're
Hmm.
shaped to your mouth, you've cut them, you've spent time with them and you love them and they like then they dry out because you forget them or something.
Yep.
Not in this. And the beautiful thing is with diaphragm calls, you store like I can store probably 7 to 8 calls in here.
That's good because that's always been the trick. Is I'm not a big. I used to when I first got into turkey hunting, I was like, you know what, I'm going all in. I learned how to call on a diaphragm, and I've killed a couple turkeys with it. But then throughout, as the years got going, it's like I got lazier, and then kids came along, and it's like, you know what, I not use them. But my always problem was like, yeah, how do I store and keep a game call fresh and just keep it clean and
It-
not get sticky and whatever else? So That's actually really ingenious
Never
mouthwash,
sticky.
though.
It's not my idea. It's not my idea. I just learned from smart people. But man, he's like, dude, you can keep calls forever. Like, and I was
Huh.
like, done. And since then, this thing's, I would say this thing is probably 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
It works.
I will keep that in mind
But
because I
yeah,
would like to get back to diaphragm. I've gone to slate calls lately, and I'm starting to get the hang of it. And really enjoy that part of it. But it's easier when you're not the one pulling the trigger to use a slate call. But I do need to get
yep.
back into using a diaphragm because I do have a fair amount of solo hunts that's like that would just be nice just to give a clucker and purr and
It's
some of that
just,
stuff
it
on the final
is.
moment. So
It really is. It really is nice. I think it keeps your calls fresh. And
yeah,
like, and
okay,
it'll last you forever, man.
right, right. Well, yeah, because
So
you can replace
take
it.
care of the calls you love.
When you go
So
out, do you run and gun or do you sit in the blind and kind of have blinds set around, or are you sitting out in the open?
I man, I'm running and gunning. Like I
Okay,
don't really like to sit idle. It's kind of like how it's a lot like I do elk hunting and coyote hunting. Like I don't sit very long.
sure.
Now if it's midday, like your tactics change throughout the day. They
Yeah,
just have to. At first light, you're sitting there where you think they might come, and you sit there for a little bit, and then you hear them, and then I'm moving. I'm typically moving. I'm using those little their transition zones and their strut zones to go. Okay, this is where I need to be, and you kind of map out like, okay, they're gonna go dust themselves off midday. Like this is where I think that area is gonna be, and then it's just chess moves. That's how
right,
I look
right.
at it.
Yep.
That's how I typically do. How are you chasing them up there?
So I started out putting up ground blinds where I knew they would
Hmm.
be likely to walk after they landed. I was not setting up close
Yeah,
to the trees. And it's like, okay, I know they're probably going to come out and they're going to be moving along here. Um, and that's when I
yeah.
was young and dumb and didn't know. I mean, most of my hunting I've taught myself
Oh yeah,
outside of tree stand hunting for deer. So as turkeys was a nothing in Minnesota. You got to remember. So I was born in the late 70s. In the early 80s, turkeys were like it was a rarity to see a turkey up here. And so there was a big
yeah,
push from the DNR and we transplanted a lot of Missouri turkeys up here. And now turkey tags are over the counter and people are finding them to be nuisances all over. So in addition to population change, so you can hunt a lot easier and I hunted a lot more. It just was never anything we grew up with because turkeys weren't a thing. Anyway, so right away, it's like because I was not knowing what to do, I was like, I want the blind so I can move around and I can see and do things. And then
yeah,
as I got more experience, and I really because I really got into bow hunting more and started to understand the nuances of slow movements and that sort of thing, then I was like, you know what? Now I'm sitting at the base of trees on a just with a vest with a pad and sitting down, and I move around and talk a lot like that, and
yeah,
that's how I like around. And my poor kids when they were little and not hunting, we'd take a blind out and do much like you. They had a device, they had snacks, they
yeah.
could eat, move, and do whatever else. But as soon as it came time to actually hunt turkeys, they've never sat in a blind chasing a turkey. We've sat behind a shield and put that in front of us to help conceal some movement. But
Right.
no, they know that the way you hunt turkeys is you sit, you call, and you sit for about 25, 30 minutes, get up, move, run,
Yeah.
move, sitting out in the open up against a tree behind some brush and that kind of thing. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I hunt the same
There's a
way.
lot of different ways to chase them, but man,
Yep.
I like the running gun aspect of it because I get a little restless sitting there and just going, oh my gosh, well, how long is
I,
it going to take? And
yep.
and that's
It's
just
it,
another opportunity for a snake to crawl in the blind.
Well, for me, it's a matter of like I know there's turkeys out here. I know they're somewhere, and I know they can hear me. And if they're not here, I know they're probably either in two other places. So
Right.
it's like I might as well just move over
Yeah.
to there rather than just sit here and wait for all day for them to finally make the trip around.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
yep,
Well, all right.
yeah, yeah,
Well, let me know when you head out to the woods. I'll wait with those boots to send them out to you because turkey
yeah.
seasons are opening up everywhere here shortly.
Yep, we do open up soon
So
here. I don't remember the exact open date because I usually I usually don't go opening week. It's usually the second week when we can get out. And
Yeah.
between our event here we've got going on in 2 weeks, and then we got NRA show at the third or fourth week of April, it kind of
Oh,
messes up when I can get out. So I got to take a look and start
we're
figuring
always
that out.
busy. It's
So
that time of the year,
yeah,
man.
it is that year.
All right, dude. Well, we'll talk
Cool.
at you later, man. Appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. Awesome.
All
Later.
all right, that's Matt Johnson with Gun Talk Media. Hey, Gun Talk hunters, you know the drill. Keep those muzzles pointed in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.